Hi everyone, my name is Vinayak and you are watching me on my channel Tarot Talk. And today's video is about the weekly pick a card read. That is, what do you need to know about your coming week of 22nd to 28th of February? What is coming up for you and how this week can be the best in itself? Let's have an overview on this new week and the last week of the month of February. So pick a card with me and know. What it is that you need to know about your coming week of 22nd to 28th of February. Pick a pile 1, 2 or 3, left, right and center. So in the next frame you will be shown the picture from the top where you can go ahead and make a selection of your pile, and remember, choose the pile that calls out to you, that draws itself to you, and make a wise choice. Let's see if you chose the very first set of cards or the left hand side set of cards, then what is it coming for you in the coming week of 22nd to 28th of February. And the very first card that I have for you is Turning In from the Osho Zen. This turning in is about finding time with your own self and looking at your life as a spectator. So in simpler words, it would mean that in this week you might not struggle with coping up with the situation. Rather, it seems like you will be giving into the flow of the life as it is, the flow as it is. You might not get affected with what others are telling you or others are commenting about you or making some judgments for you. You will be finding peace in your own self and in your own life and in your own self. And this turning in is also about getting into the comfort and pulling yourself out of the chaos that you might have been feeling. If you compare it to the traditional deck, then it goes as the Four of Cups. But the Osho Zen holds a very different significant meaning and tells you that this is a week where you will be finding peace and comfort in your own self rather than looking for it outward. People might be poking you, might be disturbing you, might be coming in your way, but you will be finding peace and making a clear way for yourself ahead. Now, the second card that I have for you is Nothingness, and this is about finding your own self. Now, how does that relate to your week? So here it shows that you might not be able to make out of how to proceed further, of being able to find a way into the problems that you are going on, and you might be feeling completely blank and lost about how to do and how to process the things. But this nothingness is very similar to when the universe was created. Like before the creation, it was all blank, like this nothingness, and after that the universe, the infinite universe came into existence. And that is what is seen to be happening in your coming week, that in the initial phases you might feel like it's all blank, there's nothing around, you don't find a way, you don't find the way of moving ahead, and you're feeling completely lost in the dark. But you should remember that there's something great is going to happen in this week. It can be when it comes to your career, It could mean that people may try to pull you down, push you down, but you won't get affected. You might not find the way in those problems, might not find a way of how to get along a particular thing or make a particular step or a decision, but soon you need to know that the idea of that creation, the idea to proceed, is going to come. If we connect this to your relationships, so it could mean that you'll be able to find peace amidst all that darkness. That solution to the problems, those blank spaces, can be seen to be filling soon. And the third card is Beyond Illusion. Now this is a really positive card in here. If we compare it to the normal deck of cards, then it goes as the Judgment card. But here it shows that since you are turning in and you are giving into the situation, you are also moving beyond the illusion of the situations that have been created. You'll be able to find the peace, you'll be able to find the comfort, and things will work out fine for you. If we connect it to your love and relationships, for instance, then it could mean that the illusions or something that was stopping your relationship to improve, or that was stopping you to move on from a problem, will get disillusioned and you will find a complete crystal clear way out of it. So if I put it into simpler words, this week could be about beginning with a little bit of chaos, but finding the peace in amidst that chaos. You might not find a way instantly, but if you give into the situation, you will definitely find a way out of it. You will get that awakening, that source, that illumination will be coming your way. And it's just needed to be patient with yourself. Now, let's come on to the energy oracles, and we have 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. And this is about expressing yourself. So this week seems to be full of communications, full of expressing what you feel like, what your emotions are about, what you feel, what is going in you. You will be expressive about it. You won't keep it inside you. You will turn in, you will find the solution, you will move out, and then you also getting the courage and the conviction from Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel is all about the courage, is all about the strength and the power to be holding on to, and that is what coming up for you in this week. And if you're waiting for some communications, then those communications, and more specifically if you are looking forward to if you are going in an interview, then it's a really good week to appear in that and make a mark on the interviewers. Now let's look at the universe message for you, and it says, I choose to learn through love. That is, if you are loving a situation, loving a person, you are learning through that entire process. You are learning and growing, and that is what this card says, that this week you seem to be choosing love to learn and grow and prosper in your life. Now let's see, if you chose the second set of cards, or the second middle pile of cards, then what is coming for you in the coming week of 22nd to 28th of February. So the very first card which comes in here is compromise. So this is about you compromising with the situations around you. Things may not work entirely according to what you have desired, and you have to find a middle way in that. It's also about finding the balance in what you do. When it comes to situations like your career, then it could mean that the result you were expecting cannot be that great or as great as you were expecting it to be. And it could also mean that you may need to come halfway along to understand someone else's point of view, which is not exactly the same as yours, or entirely opposite to what you feel of or what you think of, to maintain the harmony and balance in your relationships, in your life, and in your career. So when we compare it to the traditional one, then it goes as the Six of Pentacles, which says, and which can give an impression that there might be help coming your way that you were not expecting, or you may need it to, or there might be a situation coming up where you have to accept that help even though you don't want to. But this compromise is all about you understanding the situation for the benefit of you and the other involved, and it basically brings the balance, brings the harmony in your relationships and in your career when it comes to specific situations. Now, the second card that I have for you is exhaustion, and this is about you trying to be a workaholic and trying to make life a business. But remember that it's not a business, it's a mystery that one has to live. So it's about you are seeming a lot of exhausted with that entire workaholic schedules that you might have put into, so that other things cannot hit you up. Sometimes we indulge ourselves into a lot of work so that we don't remember the pains that we are going through, so that we don't remember the feelings that we want to, but we can't. And this week it feels that you are pushing yourself to do much more and a lot excessive work, and you might feel drained of yourself, worn out, and completely drenched. So there's a great and dire need of taking a break and relaxing your mind so that you can do the best in your work, because this exhaustion can also affect your work. When it comes to relationships, it could mean that you are quite stressing on to one specific aspect and not giving it the space to breathe. It should be given the space to breathe and to resolve so that things can work freely and can flow freely. The third card that I have for you is moment to moment. And this is about you trying to be very much concerned about what had already happened and what is about to happen. So it's better to live in the present and go with the flow of the present situation rather than thinking about the future or thinking about something that has already passed. So these are three quite interesting aspects of this week in yours, where this exhaustion can come into your life if you don't compromise onto putting some work aside and living in the present. That's a quite interesting concept coming up here, that in your business as well, in your career as well, you are doing too much just because you are worrying about the future or you are afraid of what has already happened. And now it's the time that you should compromise with the situation, keep some work aside and find time for yourself and live in the present. When it comes to the relationships as well, this could mean that you are stressing on to one specific point in this week, which needs to be relaxed. You need to compromise and understand someone else's point of view, walk half a mile for them so that you can get to know what they are actually looking forward to, and live in the present of what exists and not what has to come up. So working and worrying too much about the future of the relationships, future of your career, and pushing yourself more than excess is what brings you the exhaustion. So you may have to compromise on some work, putting something aside, trying to find some good quality time for yourself, and then living in the moment. Now, the card that I have for you from the energy oracles is 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. So this is about the information, this is about the guidance that you require of. So basically this could mean that in the coming week, if you were looking forward to some information coming, or finding a way in a specific problem or in a specific situation, then that could come with this seventh chakra, Archangel Uriel. And Archangel Uriel also brings the guidance, the blessings, and the knowledge from the spirit world. That is, a beloved person of yours who is now a spirit can be giving their assistance in this week. And it's a great time to connect and ask for that guidance and ask for that blessing to come in. And it's a free-flowing channel of inspiration, of information, and you could use it for the best good of yourself. Now, the last card that I have from the universe has your back, and that's a universal message for you, is I choose to love no matter what. That is, you have to choose to love yourself this week. Love yourself and loving what you actually look forward to, and not giving into so much that you lose your own self, lose your own identity. So I choose love no matter what should be your affirmation in this week. And now let's see, what do we have if you chose the third set of cards, or the third pile of cards for this week. The very first card that I have for you is 10, Suppression. And this shows that you are bound by the expectations or what others are wanting you to do as a person. You have suppressed yourself in all those things, and your feelings as well are getting suppressed along with it. And this feels that you are finding it really hard to keep everything together and move forward. And it is a time to heal and to release some of what is causing this suppression. Because if you don't do it now, there can be a burst happening and you might feel yourself shattered, and you might feel yourself the lowest. So this week is a good preparation week where you can find out what are the things that are making you feel suppressed in your life. If we talk about this with respect to your relationships, it could mean that there is some expectation coming, or there is something that you are holding on which you should release so that you can live more freely and your own self. When it comes to your career, it could mean that you are taking on too much on yourself, taking a lot of burden and feeling suppressed. So this week is about identifying those suppressive powers and making yourself free from them. Now, the second card that I have for you is Past Lives. And this is all about finding the relationship between every event happening in your life. So the second card that I have for you is Past Lives. And when we talk about this, then it could mean that in this week, it's a good time to check back onto your karmic patterns, and also on the patterns of the events that are happening in your life. Something it is that you need to correct so that things actually really fall into place. Because every event happening right now, or every situation that you are in right now, can be holding some significance, some hidden significance, which can influence your life later on. So this week, Past Lives card is telling you that you have to get aware of these signals and the signs that these guardians of the unconscious are preparing you. So be very observant towards the pattern of the things that are happening. When we compare it to the traditional deck, then it comes as the moon. which is again about the unconscious, which again about the subconscious. And you need to pay attention on to the things that are happening around you, because there might be something that you are not aware of, but it is still building up, and if it is not taken good care of, it might be shattering as well. So it's a good time to have a check on these aspects. Now, the third card that I have for you is receptivity, which tells that this week is all about you opening up to receive the things. That is, since you were in a state of suppression, you will realize that everything is happening for a reason. And when you get aware that everything is happening for a reason, you will become receptive to the changes or to the goodness that is going to come in your life. So this receptivity is compared to the Queen of Cups, which is about getting that clarity, getting that compassion. And it also means that in this week you might find yourself grateful for whatever good you have in your life, without setting any expectations for anything in return or any acknowledgement for what you do. So you are more becoming like or embodying the qualities of a mother in this week, where you do everything without expecting anything in return. So this week shows that you are becoming a little bit more sensitive, intuitive, and compassionate towards the situations around you. And this will in turn dissolve the obstacles that keep you separate from your happiness, or separate from the happiness that you are looking forward to. Now, when we connect everything and every dot of this picture, then it means that you are beginning this week in a little bit of suppression. You decide to check onto what is getting wrong, and then you're opening up yourself for the better things to come in. And this is an interesting pattern or an interesting theme that comes up. That even though you're feeling the suppression, you're feeling that there's a fire building up that can actually burst. And when you recognize that suppression, those foundations, you move away from those foundations, you move away from those expectations and open up yourself for the best and the highest possible things. In simpler words, when we connect this to your relationship, it could mean that the expectations or what you are expecting it to go like, or if you are expecting it to go in a certain specific way and you're not finding it going and you're feeling low of, oh, the things are not working fine. So this week can bring you that sense of knowing that there's another way to it, or there's another possible aspect to the situation. The same goes with your career as well. That you just have to understand what is pulling you down, what is pushing you down, why are you feeling this suppression, and by the end of the week you seem to be freeing up yourself and feeling the best possible when it comes to your life. Let's look at the energy oracles, and we have the sun. So this sun is about the new beginnings, new creations, and birthing of new ideas, and even birth of a new you, the new you from here, and the birthing of something new happening. It's a great card to get, and it shows that there can be an increased creativity, or you might be beginning some new project, or might be starting a new venture as well. And this is all about the new light and the new clarity and the new vision that is coming in your life. And since you are choosing to recognize the things as they are and as they should meant to be, you are moving beyond the illusion, and there is quite well enlightenment and blessing coming into your life, which you will cherish for sure. Now, The card that I have for you from the universe has your back is my fearless freedom lights up the world. So, fearless freedom. See how beautifully they connect each other. Now, here you are feeling trapped in the situation. You are feeling stuck in all that goes around. When you choose to move away from it, you open up yourself to the receptivity of the better things, and this is what lights up your world. So, your fearless freedom lights up the world in this week, and this should be the affirmation of yours in this particular week.